going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Free Thinking the Culture podcast with your host Noir. And it is going on. It's probably going on Friday by the time you hear this, so just bear with me because I pre-recorded this. I believe the title of this is going to be selfish, but sometimes I get into it and start talking and then I end up changing the title. So if it's selfish, cool. If not, just go with it. You know how we do here. I was speaking with a friend either the day before yesterday or yesterday, but I think it was the day before yesterday. And we were having this very in-depth conversation about friendships, right? And it's really weird, not even really weird. I shouldn't use the word weird. I should say it's very humbling to notice that I've selected a certain group of friends to where we all are kind of in sync in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you have like that type of group of friends, but I keep my friendship group very, very small. So that way, like, we never lose track of like keeping up with each other. No matter if it's like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, however we do that. That's just what we do. We just check on each other. I've mentioned this before about how I treat my friends like family. And for me, having this very deep conversation with him really opened up my eyes to how small this world really is. And what do I mean by that? Example, we were explaining how we've had friendships where we felt basically used. And when I say used, I'm talking about to the fact that people had the audacity to use you in a space, in a capacity that you didn't sign up for. I think a lot of the times when we think about friendships now, it's almost like a business transaction for a lot of people. But for me, I don't look at it like that. And we both came to the realization that we enjoy helping people out as long as it's like, and here's the thing, don't think that we look for anything in return, but we would respect the fact that people treat us the same way that we treat them. What does that mean? With kindness, however you may view that. Now, I know this world is cold. You know this, I know this, we know this. We know that everybody isn't the same when it comes to friendships. We already know that. The problem becomes when you have too many people on that side of the fence that trickle over to our side of the fence because they know we're the better friends. What do I mean by that? They know that we have a better moral compass. They know that we have better values. So instead of them, I guess, incorporating themselves to try to get in where they can fit in and learn as much as possible, they rather use that to their advantage, use your kindness and everything to get ahead, and then kind of throw you off to the wayside like a sociopath. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really super deep into like defining narcissism and all these other different mental illnesses, but it has become very apparent to me that in society we allow such a very harsh reality to be a part of everybody's lives. What happens when you do that? It then begins affecting all the regular people that don't want any part of this, that didn't really sign up for things like that. It's very unfortunate that the innocent people, the people who really, really want to see good in the world, get used and abused like that. It really turns good people bad. And I hate to see this very vicious cycle within society that it almost rewards it. Does that make sense to you? Like, it rewards degeneracy. It rewards not having proper law and order. It rewards I don't know, like, it more so rewards sheep mentality than a free thinking mentality. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you start to think for yourself, and when you really start to put yourself first, you're seen as selfish. There we go. Selfish. There go the title. But in my mind, it's not selfish because you're really protecting yourself. What comes off as selfish to me is somebody really befriending you, sitting in your space, sitting in your face, absolutely drawing the life from you. I'm talking about sucking your energy dry to the fact that they almost feel offended when you decide to put yourself first. Ain't that something? So you get a chance to say, okay, I want to finally put Noir first, right? I'm using myself as an example. Look at me speaking in the third person. I'm going to put Noir first. All of a sudden, it's hell and high water. Oh, you betrayed me. Oh, you're not loyal. Oh, you're not this, you're not that. And I think to myself, is it me? Like, am I the one that's tripping? But then I speak to my friend. He's going through something so detrimental to a man's health, to where you feel like you're helping somebody out and you're really just being a man. Because for men, we enjoy helping women, especially without putting his business out there. We enjoy helping women. We enjoy helping people, because the true nature of man is really to be uplifting your society as much as possible. You carry a lot of weight on your back as a man. And for me, if I can contribute to manhood in a very positive way, I would do it. And I actually get off on helping people. Like, I used to make people laugh, and I used to say, I'm like a Care Bear kid. You remember them Care Bears from like back in the day? Look, I'm telling my age now. But you remember like when you would see like cartoons and it would be like, always be like happy-go-lucky, like willing to help. That was me. It's still me. But I was made to feel like I was so horrible by being a good guy. I was made to be so horrible, to be so vulnerable and open and really showing you like, hey, I'm not here to work against you. I'm here to work with you. But instead, we're kind of looked down upon in society, and we're kind of used, and it takes really bad experiences that turn good men horrible like that. That's how I would imagine that's how a Future came about. Because I'm pretty sure Future was never just Future. Like back probably early teens, probably pre-teens. When you look at something like that, like what caused the Future? What caused a Drake? Well, even though he's not really a threat, but you get what I'm saying. What caused like a Lori Harvey to be who she is now? What caused like all these different people to go the route that they go, to not really care about how it may affect society in general? Because then we lean over into the effects of influence. When you have the power of influence, right? No matter what capacity you have, because even within your own friend groups, I remember a lot of people had looked to me because I had came in with a certain structure, but that was me coming from the military. So I had a completely different structure, plus my family's military. So I already came in with a certain mindset. So people looked to me in that direction for it. However they, I guess, wanted to take from that. I don't know. And when I see that now, the influence that a lot of people have now, and they use that influence for bad, there comes the theory of the crossroads. When you think about crossroads, you think of some place out between California and Nevada, out in the desert, late at night, and for some reason there's a fiery road on the left, and there was a heavenly low road on the right. You thinking it's one of the two. It's not presented in that way. Sometimes when you have the gift of influence, you think, with great power comes with great responsibility, right? It's all about what you do with that influence. So if you are already tainted going into that influence, then you're going to taint your audience of people that are probably innocent, people who probably don't think for themselves in the wrong direction, which sets off a lot of chaos within society. Whereas if you go into influence with a good spirit or whatever like that, you can influence people for the better. You could say somebody from self-deletion. I want to use that word, but you could be saving somebody from harming themselves or calling it quits in life, or you could really change the trajectory of a person depending on who you are down to the core. So then it comes to say, why as a society are we rewarding bad behavior to be influencers or to be celebrities or public figures or however you want to word that? Why do we reward those things? I've noticed a lot of times too, when you talk about good things and positive things, people tend to not be so engaged with the conversation. But if it's about drama, some housewives, some Love and Hip Hop, some ratchet shit on TV, they be all engaged. And it's like, wow, we really have created a society that is really truly into chaos. They thrive off of it, and they're almost depleted if they don't get their daily dose of it, which is why Instagram, Twitter, and a lot of other things are popular. Why? Because they get it in such huge downloads that they become addicted to it. Whereas me, I try to force myself, I force myself to take social media breaks. I'll actually log off. I generally don't have notifications on because I don't want my phone going off every 2, 3, 5 minutes from somebody liking something or commenting on something. When I usually log off, I log all the way off, because I feel like it's a healthy relationship with social media and different things. And I encourage you to take those breaks. Like, don't be so drawn in, because honestly, being on social media is almost like being antisocial to real life. Does that make sense to you? It's very selfish to take yourself out of the regular human society and plug yourself into this, what we call metaverse, and be so involved with avies and how you're representing online, when really you should be really concerned with how you're represented in real life when you walk around. You really should be concerned about, even going offline, the perception that people have of you online and carrying that to offline, because sometimes they don't always match up. They don't. And that leads to even more insecurity, because social media just harbors and just an incubation of insecurities. I'm going to say to you, it's okay to be selfish in this extent. And when I say selfish in this capacity, I'm talking about it's okay to be selfish, work on yourself, and make sure that you are good. You're always overgiving to other people's platforms or other people's causes, but what are you doing for yourself? And I think I've preached on this like a couple of times, but notice how all these episodes kind of link to each other in some type of way. I'm trying to create my own little matrix, but my matrix is one that's going to free your mind. My matrix is actually challenging you and trying to see where you are in your mind frame. Where are you at in that situation? Where do you place yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? How much time do you actually give yourself with what is it called? The self-care? Yeah. How much time do you actually invest within self-care for yourself? How often? How often did you actually turn off your phone? I'm talking about power all the way down. No laptop, no electronics. How often do you do that? Go outside, walk around, get you some air, and really just disconnect from the things that are pushed to you towards from an algorithm to what's really in front of your face. How often do you do that? I'm gonna tell you right now, I try to do it as much as possible, because the more you stay connected to the outside world, to what really matters, the more you can be influenced from the inside metaverse. That's just my view on that. Don't allow yourself to be used by other people because you're too busy being distracted by something else. Put time into yourself. Do not allow yourself to become a victim. And I truly believe that this is a victim mindset. We sometimes get wrapped up in other people's worlds that we just forget about our own. That's very dangerous. Tend to your own garden. That's just how I feel about that. Tend to your own garden, because the more you pull them weeds, the more you keep that grass cut low, the more chances you have to see a snake creeping up on you. Did you feel what I just dropped on you? Let me pick that. Look, I'd be surprising myself. Look, pay attention. Keep your own grass cut. Pull them weeds out. Make sure the grass is real low so you can see the snakes creeping up on you. Cause see, when the snakes know that you can see that they coming, they not gonna come with the heat like they're talking about some. Cause 9 times out of 10 they bark is worse than they bite. Pay attention to who's in your backyard. There's this video on YouTube. It was a very strange video, and it was a video where the young lady's talking about we all have snakes in our garden. You just have to pay attention, because sometimes we do. And I'm not saying that's true for everybody, because sometimes people have very small circles to where they don't have to worry about things like that. And so far, my circle is pretty good, but you never know when you let that one person in and you really think, oh, this person is great, but they have ulterior motives. You have to really be careful about how people come into your life and what is their true agenda. Are they really coming to you to be a friend? Are they really coming to you to be to share in reciprocity as far as the human experience, or are they coming there for a particular purpose to use you? Pay attention to how they treat you. And not only that, here's the thing, pay attention to how they treat others. I've had friends to where I finally started seeing how they treat others and say, I wonder what they're talking about. Like, I wonder if they do that to me behind my back. Some of those things ring to be true. Some of those things aren't. But the thing is, I allowed myself to open up my mind to consider all the options. Because if you don't, that's how you get fooled. That's how they pull the wool over your eyes. Pay attention to what's in your own front yard while you paying attention to somebody else's on Instagram hitting like. You're being distracted. You feel me? Pay attention to the society and how it moves, and the very strange things that go on that really keep you distracted from your purpose. Me and my friend talked about this too. We realized that a lot of things that we picked up and ring true to that old saying, when I was a boy, I used to play with childish things, and now that I'm a man, I put those childish things down. That type of phrase, you realize the more you grow and the more you're in tune with yourself, those things do not interest you. Now you feel like those things are a diversion away from where you're really supposed to be. And you realize that I'm off my mission. That's one of the main words that my friend, me and him used yesterday. We realized a lot of these things were keeping us from our mission and on our path. And we realized, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Let me put this away. you realize a lot of the times when you try to put those things away, those things are going to fight back because they're so used to being complacent in your life and they're so used to draining your energy that they actually get offended that you're not allowing them to be tapped into you anymore. Pay attention. They actually get offended when they're not allowed to use you. They're not offended that you actually standing up for yourself. They're offended because they can't siphon your energy anymore. When you decide, I don't want to give my energy to you for free, especially for free, everything costs right now. You're not going to be using me for free. I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my family. And I can't do that when you plugged into me, draining me. Take the time for yourself to reevaluate your circle just to make sure you're good. And if your circle is good, hey, don't rock the boat. But just pay attention to anything that may make you feel uneasy. Remember, I've always referenced following your gut. There's been plenty of times I haven't followed my gut and it came back to bite me in my ass. Why? Because that's your gut intuition telling you this ain't good for you. But what do? It must be something I ate. No, it's just me. I'm tripping. It's not you. You're not tripping. For too often, we've been conditioned to accept trauma and chaos that we ignore the divine intervention that's trying to happen right before our eyes. Remember I used that term before? Divine intervention? Use it. Use it to your advantage. It was given to you divinely. You feel me? Like sometimes we ignore the simple signs that the universe may be giving us, and we're thinking, I'm tripping. No, my friend wouldn't do that. Lo and behold, your friend was doing that all along. You understand? Be careful with that word friend. Remember the Shanquilla effect? All these people not your friend. All these people that sit in your face, they not your friend. All these people that be sitting up whispering in your ear, all them sweet nothings, they not your friend. More so than usual, they the enemy sitting right up under you. You know how they had that little reference of the little angel on the one side and the devil on the right? Whole time, you thinking the devil is the worst one. Because here's the thing, you already know what the devil up to, because already know the devil over here in red with the little horns, but that little angel over here, you thinking this little angel good whole time, it's the devil in sheep's clothing, baby. You don't even know it. I'm just trying to put you on free game. Pay attention to your surroundings and get on your purpose. I'm going to keep telling you that. I'm going to keep telling you to pay attention, because more so than usual, more so than ever, it's going to be detrimental to your health. Don't let it consume you. And that's all I got for y'all. That's all I got. Like, the whole selfishness, it's okay. Sometimes it's needed. And that's away from friends. That's away from family. That's away from society. I'm just letting you know. I'm just here as a messenger. It came to me. I hit record. I said they're going to enjoy this one because this one is just coming straight from the heart, as they all do. I know a lot of people may not get the titles and where I go, but notice that these things link into each other to make you think about the other episodes. To make it almost comes across as a novel. You may not understand what happened in chapter 1, but by chapter 7, you'll be like, oh, that's what he meant back in. Let me go back to chapter 3. Let me go back. Oh, that's what. I set it up like that. And then remember I say I put it in a mixtape form to give you the vibe with the music in the background. It's to make you think. It's to have you really engaged and encouraged when you listen to a podcast. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be on here dragging men and women and saying everything that's wrong with society. I want to be a part of helping offer a solution. Because sometimes you have to just take the step forward and say, when are we going to stop complaining and start doing something? Right now, in my place, in my journey, I'm ready to start doing something. And I need other people to be on board, because you can't move. Sometimes you just can't move by yourself. Sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot. In this society, you're going to need a group of people to try to rock the boat a little bit. That's the only way that society is going to actually be shaken up. The only time that society really pays attention to one person is when somebody's offended or somebody got a gun in their hand or something crazy is going on to draw your attention. I feel like I shouldn't have to go through all that just to get a point across, a solid message across. You let me know what you think. I don't know. But with that being said, that is my time. I truly encourage you to rate the podcast. Hey, if you want to give to the podcast, let me know. Via Anchor, they have a place where you can donate to the podcast that goes back into the podcast. Cash App, $King711. Please follow me on Apple Music, Google Play, Spotify, podcasts, Amazon, all those great places where you can listen to. I think we even on Audible, Pandora, Sirius XM, a lot of different places. So please follow, like, and share as much as possible. We're growing in numbers, and I really truly appreciate your engagement and your following and your everything. I just appreciate you. How about that? All right. Well, until next time. Oh, and I do apologize for not giving one last week. I've been super busy, but I made it a point to get you one this week. So we're back on track. Sometimes I have to pause for the calls. I'm just not going to give you a podcast if I'm not in a creative spirit. That's disingenuous. I want to always make sure I give you something that's coming straight from me, straight from in here, just to make sure that you know that this podcast is real. It's not about the numbers. It's about the message. All right. And until next time, always make sure to rethink before you free think. Later, guys.